So I have been messing around with this weird branded boombox called Star Studio, made in 1985, and while I got the belts on and it was working, it was still a little slow, which it still is, which I don't really care, but this deck would not play sound. This deck worked just fine. Well, apparently you can only hear sound from deck A when you're transferring to deck B, which is very weird. So well, let me actually rewind. Yeah, it's very odd. You can play and record with deck B, but you can only use deck A to transfer. And this is the only way you can hear sound from deck A, is to have record enabled for deck B, which is freaking weird. I'll stop right there. Yeah, so I'm going to put this in pause mode, push record, then push play. And now you can hear stuff come out of it. Now if I stop deck B, you don't hear anything. So now I'm going to transfer some to deck B. Now it's very humid in here, so some of these cassette tapes are actually sticking to the playheads. There's so much moisture right now. And the mode switch on top, which says sing with the stars, cassette to cassette, and amplify. Well, you have to have cassette to cassette, obviously, to record from one to another. But yeah, that's interesting. You can't even use side A to actually play a tape. You can only use it to transfer. Because if I take the mode switch and go to amplify, sound goes away. So it's only for transferring, which is freaking interesting, I should say. Alright, let's stop B, stop A. And see how well that came out for B. So, there's two reasons why this sounds a little more muffled or whatever. A is that's because I'm using a really cheap tape. Excuse me. B, the playhead still has a little bit of crap on it. So, you put those two together, yeah, you get a pretty tone-deaf sound. But I can tell from just listening to the beat and stuff like that, that the auto level control is pretty good. Still has some wow and flutter in it, but that's the way expected. I'm not using new belts. And that's where I stopped the recording. Alright, so, yeah. Deck A is only for transferring to B. You can't use deck A just out of the... Can't use deck A for fun, to listen to tapes. Only can do it to copy. At least you can use deck B to playback. So, anyway. Yeah, I finally was like, oh, that's the reason for that. Because if you just play it normally, you don't hear anything. It's so freaking weird. Oh, the stuff they thought of back then. That's so strange. Alright, well, later.